we have artists in Uganda who sing on Monday and they fade on Friday.
Have you heard of any?
But yes, I've heard songs of Alien Skin.
Yeah.
But he said he stopped last year.
You know how it goes in Uganda.
Yeah.
You stop and then you
here
come
we
back.
have artists in Uganda who sing on Monday and they fade on Friday. Isn't
But
it?
it's true.
TikTokers are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Alien Skin has a big constituency. A big constituency, yeah.
That's very good. But yes, of course, we're still chilling right now with Mr. Frank GASHUMBA, and we are so excited to have him.
It is visitation day. Papa came to visit, visitation day at school.
This is your first time here, actually?
Yes. Yes.
You never came to like visit Sheila on a random Friday?
No, she's an adult.
No,
I remember
Yeah.
dropping Sheila at WBS. I think she was in primary 5.
Yeah.
There used to be a TV station called WBS,
Okay.
Nyagulu. So I would drop her, pick her up. The same with the NTV.
Yes.
But now she can maneuver.
Yeah.
Do you think children actually really ever become big enough in the eyes of their parents?
Never.
Like, no gamba, yefeko kati
It
yakuze.
will never happen.
But I have a question. So I know that you've talked about how you envision something very different for Sheila, but I see that I think you've become more accepting of her career path. So what would you tell fathers who are not as accepting of their children's career path when it's opposed to what they had planned for them?
You know, I think it's important that parents listen to children. I will tell you this. You know Pastor Semper?
Yeah.
I was not into this business of Sheila having shows in bars and the rest. Then Pastor Semper said, you know what, Frank, let's spare a night, go to these bars
And see what happens.
and see how these mad people live. Let me tell you guys, when you guys, if you could read our mind.
What were you thinking?
So we decided to go to Cayenne. Spent a night in Cayenne. We were there from 10 up to 4 a.m. But it was as if we were in the upper prison. But surprisingly, kids were jumping like frogs. You
So
get it?
are you saying you barely go out?
What haven't I seen?
You've seen it all.
Yeah.
What's that age?
But I have to give you guys an opportunity to do each and everything. But at the end of the day, everything that you do one day,
Yeah.
they may end up catching up
With
to
you.
So Pastor Semper convinces me, do you know what? Let's go and see what this young girl does. And she was aware that we are coming. So we went to Cayenne. I call them all tribes of alcohol, not types, tribes. I didn't know there was a bottle of alcohol that cost 4 million.
Azul.
Who orders? Who orders?
4 million.
Yeah.
And the people spend on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what 4 million can do for me?
What's the most you're willing to spend on a drink?
This goes for 1K. 1K.
What's the highest?
I don't-
Go gamba wano sisuka o
Can I tell
kugula
you something?
drink.
I don't recall a day in my life I've ever left my house to go to a bar and drink. Never. Never.
You stay in the house and do your thing.
I prefer going out in quiet places,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But those who feel they are comfortable going out, it's their life. But make sure that you don't inconvenience us. You get it? Because you're from having fun, then you should inconvenience the neighborhood. So we decided to go. We left Cayenne around 4. I
Yeah.
said, oh. Because my challenge was, this young girl makes a lot of money. You get it? Where does this money go? My age mates don't know that you can just host a show for 1 hour and you are given 5 million. How many Ugandans make that money?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
So I decided to go there. I said, oh, this is it. Now, the argument came in, yes, you make a lot of money. You must reinvest 60%. You are in showbiz, fine. Okay, spend 40% the way how you want. Then the 60% you must reinvest it. Because I know by the age of 30, 35,
Yeah.
you may not even have the opportunity to make that money. So we settled that. You get it?
Are there times you feel like you've fallen short or not met your expectations as a father?
Not really. Sometimes you feel you're disappointed.
Yeah.
But when you speak to other parents, they say, you
They are
man,
having
shut
it
up.
worse.
Shut up.
Wow.
You don't know what you're talking about. The same Pastor Semper told me, Frank,
Yeah.
if we organize an event for parents in Namugong, sorry, in Nambole, let's make sure that no parent carries a phone to record. Let parents give out their testimonies. You walk back home praising Jesus.
Wow.
Yes. Parents are going through a number of challenges.
Yeah.
You may be having this challenge that my daughter drinks wine and drinks champagne. Then another will be complaining, you are talking of wine. Mine drinks crude waraji. And banji and cocaine. You get it?
Yes, I understand.
And I still pay for her accommodation, I pay for clothes.
Yeah.
You remember? So sometimes when you hear what other parents are going through, you say, hey, Jesus, are we in heaven?
Yeah.
You get it?
So how do you, both of you, Sheila and yourself, are both strong personalities. So how do you handle disagreements now?
Surprisingly, from the age of 1 to senior 6, Sheila was a private and a general.
Hey.
Because I remember telling them at home that there's no democracy in my home. Because I don't recall anyone ever voting for me to be their father. Yes, you are here by the mercy of God.
Yes.
As long as I pay for I pay school fees, I pay medical insurance, I clothe you up.
I feed you.
There is no democracy in this house. If you want democracy, get out of this house. That's the way how we are raised.
Yes.
And that's the way I raised her.
Wow.
But after senior 6, I hear above 18, the law protects them, but they're adults.
Yeah.
You hear?
Yeah, yeah.
And I hate that. I hear I'm above 18. Nonsense. You're above 18. What do you know? What do you know? You're above 18. So what?
True.
So what? You're above 18. And everyone's here that I'm above 18, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you have to sit and agree that this is right, this is wrong. But I'm happy to tell you, even in her age mates, some of them confess to me that, Uncle Frank, I think we are sorry. We didn't know this.
Yeah.
You get it? But it's very challenging.
We were saying earlier on that June is a month for men's mental health awareness. And sometimes people are going to see, what is on the outside. They are going to think that this man has it all together.
What?
He has his life together. Everything is going very well and smooth for him. Life is simple because he's, Frank GASHUMBA.
Who tells you that?
I'm saying that's what people might think. That's what people might think.
If you people lived our lives, you say, you know what, Frank, take your life, carry on with your life. The people you admire, the people you think that they're doing well, everything is okay with them, they are boiling. The people you admire with those posh cars and posh houses in Kampala, actually they are admiring your lives. You think the president of Uganda is happy? The entire country is on his head. You think Sudiri Lupareria is happy? He has a chain of businesses.
Yeah.
Sudiri tells me after 6 hours, he must get a report for each and every company he's running. So sometimes, I think the happiest person on planet Earth is the poor person. Because you can't miss what you don't know. We are seated in a fully air-conditioned room here in the studios of what? NRG Radio.
Yes.
But if they fired you here and you worked on a community radio, that's when you realize that, NRG Radio was the best.
There we go.
You get it?
Yes.
I have an uncle in Masaka, I think he's 8 years. He drinks waraji Monday to Monday. Every evening he must listen to CBS.
Yeah.
If we have an event in Masaka, we must pick him because he himself is Murangira. He's the happiest man on planet Earth. But GASHUMBA, you have to pay taxes, you have to do this, blah, 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 blah. So it's not as easy as you people think.
Yeah.
Do you think that the pressure that comes from society also does contribute to this? Because people are conditioned or have a mindset of a man must be successful by this time in his life. A man must have a family. A man must have a wife. A man must, have this and own businesses and or do all that. So when you find yourself at a certain point in life, but you don't have all this, you find that men are going to be struggling because society has put a certain amount of pressure on them.
I think I agree with you, but like for me, society cannot determine the type of life I live. My mother tried it and she gave up. Because every time she would come at my house, owasadi omukazi.
Omukyala aliwa.
And I remember one day nemugamba mami ekisenge ky'abagenyi okimanyi nti yes. Genda weebake.
Biveke.
Genda weebake. Bwe ndifuna omuntu nja mukuleetera. You get it. Surprisingly, now she agrees with me. that you rather live a single happy life than a troubled life. So never allow a community or family to determine the type of life
that you want to live.
I know young girls who are 35 years who are exclusively happy. They are single and happy. And I know those who are 35, 40 who are married but they are crying, dying.
So
let me build this point. Let's assume we have two young girls. There is Linda and Fiona. One is single and happy. One is married, troubled. Every time this young girl will be calling you, you'll be expecting bad news. You get it? Personally, I believe, take your time.
Until you're ready.
Take your time. Don't allow the society, the church I go to, family, you are not married. There are many fake masters in Kampala. First of all, useless men who can't even take care of themselves. One young girl confessed to me last week there's something new I didn't know. Transport. I didn't know. Can you imagine? Tell him, how is it called in Swahili? I don't know.
What's that?
There's a new culture in Uganda now. It was a preserve for ladies. For example, she can call, you know what, Frank, I want to see you.
And he has to buy me fuel.
Then I send her, let's 100K.
Hey, fare. Transport fare. Transport.
Previously, Ubers are new in Uganda. Meaning I had to send her money for a special hire. Let's 100K. Now these days it's the opposite. Men also ask for transport.
That's crazy.
You get it?
That's crazy.
And the moment she sends that transport, that fake master switches off the phone. You get it? That's where we are now. It's very disturbing. Now, imagine getting married to such a man. A man must take care of you. A man must look after you.
There we go.
But do you feel like society has created an environment where men have it easier nowadays? For example, things like 50-50 are normalized. And nowadays men can cry.
Shut up.
NRG Radio.